There are three main non-immigrant business visas. There's many others, but there's three main ones. The E-1, which is a treaty trader, the E-2, which is a treaty investor, and the L-1, which is intercompany transfer. E-1 is kind of known as the forgotten visa because people don't often seek it. The reason is it's for companies that are doing at least 50% of their trade with the foreign national or the prospective beneficiary of the visa with his or her home country. So what that means is, let's say, for example, Israel, which is a common E-1 country. If a person came here and wanted to, let's say, set up a chain of coffee shops, they would have to maintain ongoing trade with Israel and bring most of their product or service, at least 50% at any given time, from Israel. And you must always maintain at least 50% of your trade with that home country. It's sometimes challenging. The E-2 is a treaty investor visa. It's the most coveted visa, the most coveted non-immigrant visa. It's available for people from countries that have an E-2 treaty with the U.S. It's a really important visa because it allows for business owners or entrepreneurs to invest a substantial amount into a U.S. business or start a new business here in the U.S. and then to create revenues that are not marginal. It has to do more than support the investor and his or her family. It has to actually create some economic impact and economic benefit and hire people. So, and the investment threshold, that it be substantial, is not defined specifically, although we as a company tend to use 100,000 as the guideline, but that's not a hard and fast rule. Each and every business is individual and independent. Sometimes a service business could need less than a product business, and it really depends on the particular business. What is the substantial investment for that business? So a great way for a person to qualify for an E-2 is if they want to buy a small franchise, let's say a tanning salon, and they're investing $100,000 here in the US, and they're going to create a few jobs because obviously to run the tanning salon you need people to run it. So you're going to be having ongoing revenues, you're going to be showing good revenues after your first year, you're going to hire multiple people, you're going to be creating an economic impact, a positive economic impact, and you're going to run the tanning salon on an ongoing basis. The E-1 and E-2 are treaty driven. In order to qualify for an E-1 or E-2 visa, you have to be from one of the countries that's listed on the Department of State's website. The L-1 visa is an intercompany transfer of a high-level executive. So an L-1A, which is the most common type of L-1 visa, means that the proposed beneficiary must have worked for a foreign entity that's either an affiliate or parent of the U.S. entity for at least one of the past 3 years, and that person must be being transferred here to run and be an executive or manager here in the U.S. of the subsidiary or affiliate of the foreign business. So there are certain qualifications. In order to continue to qualify for an L-1, the foreign business must continue to be in existence throughout the course of the L-1 visa here in the U.S. There's no specific country requirements, so anybody can qualify as long as they meet the requirements. And the great thing about an L-1 is that unlike the E-1 and E-2, it does have a direct path to permanent residence. E-1 and E-2, you can renew them indefinitely, but there's no direct path to permanent residence. You have to actually add to your initial investment and potentially qualify under an EB-5 or some other visa in order to gain access to permanent residence, whereas with an L-1, it's a direct path and you just have to apply. And it's a very simple, straightforward process, provided that the requirements are met after the first year of your L-1 visa. The restriction for an L-1 is that there is a maximum of L-1 status of 7 years. So if you aren't planning to transition to permanent residence, L-1 does have that maximum duration of 7 years. An L-1 would be like a small, let's say a small business with about 20 employees in Canada, wants to set up a subsidiary or affiliate here in the US, run that affiliate, transfer a senior level executive or manager to run the affiliate here, and after the first year would hire other people so that they no longer have any admin duties, and perhaps after that first year could also qualify for permanent residence without having to do a labor certification. And that's a huge bonus of an L-1, is that there is no labor certification requirement when you transfer into permanent residence.